Real growth isn't when life gets easier. It's when problems and chaos stop having control over you. I remember when I was younger and I bought my house, my first house, I was early 20s. And I knew when I bought it, and I didn't even know where I got that mindset from or where I got that inclination from. But it was, this is going to be my cash cow, and I'm never going to sell this house. It's going to stay in the family. And fast forward when I was in my 30s and I got my boyfriend who became my son's father. We moved together to Amsterdam, and that was when I rented out my beautiful apartment. It became the cash cow because I was smart enough to already start paying off my debts, and so I have no mortgage, and so everything that I make with that house is basically almost net. And so I remember in that time, I had to let go of a house that I grew up as this young woman, first standing on her own feet, growing into this woman that was building her little empire basically. And but I was ready. I was ready to let that go, to let that phase of life go. And I was also a bit afraid of, okay, but what if I'm gonna have annoying renters and I was really afraid of all of the unknown. Luckily, I still did it. And now it's been, I don't know, I've been renting this house out for 10 years almost. For almost 10 years, this house has been in the market. And I it's the most natural, normal thing in the world for me, like I have no fears around that. And I give you this illustration to give you feedback on how when you make changes in life and you start reaching for higher stuff, it always is kind of scary because you don't really know what to expect. You come into this unknown, environment, and you're just very afraid of hassle and stuff and chaos happening. And so um, I invested years later in Mexico. It was my third house that I invested in. And so when I did that, I had no idea about this market or the culture or anything. But I was like, yeah, you know what? Whatever happens, this is going to be a blessing in disguise. So what I said about that first house that I bought, I said, this is going to be my cash cow. With this house, I felt like, whatever happens, this is going to be a blessing in disguise. And so let me tell you, a lot of chaos, a lot of things went wrong. Not just from it being built, but also moving forward. Now it has been there for a while. But like the craziest thing, I cannot even name them all, happens. And so what it did to me was it really stretched me open. Chaos was everywhere, and it constantly got me in that discomfort, right? The triggers, the injustice, the fixing shit, losing a lot of money, investing in something that feels like it's like really like instead of bringing in money, just emptying in my pockets. And I'm so grateful for that. So incredibly grateful because it taught me so many things that I would never have learned at school. And it opened up my vessel, my ability to hold more, to bring in more, because I'm not afraid anymore. It showed me patterns that I wasn't able to see if I would have been stuck in my comfort and would have never invested. That house is going to be a bigger cash cow ever. Not because it will or will not bring in money, but because the lessons that I learned is going to help me for the rest of my life to build whatever I'm here to build and not be afraid of that. It opened up so many scarcity mindset things, the chaos and control and all of that was actually just living inside of me that I was willing to face step by step by step by step. I even have an episode last year that I made in that condo to address this. And I thought back then that I hit it, right? And I'm like, okay, well, nothing's gonna happen now. No, there was deeper stuff that I had to go through. But I, for the first time in my life, started to see how afraid I was of life, how much control I wanted to have in life. And, on a relationship level, I didn't have to learn that anymore because I really learned to let go of people and I learned a lot of lessons there. So the only way to still get the lessons that I needed to get was financially, especially because, my freedom, which is for me tied to my money, is very important. And I am a single mom and I make my own living and I do my own things. And so, you know, I am, I have every role in this household. I'm the provider, I'm the mother, I'm the caretaker, I'm everything for many years now. And so it was intense. And at the same time, it wasn't, because every time I already knew, okay, I can go deeper now. Okay, there's another invite here. Like I said before, there were the craziest things that happened where you're almost like, I can't make this up, right? It was like being in this match of, of kickboxing, and you're just getting like constantly, you're just kind of breathing again, and then you get another punch where it really became laughable. Where it's like, okay, God, what are you trying to tell me? God wanted me to go on my knees almost. I didn't go this time. It was another house that made me go on my knees. But it was more like, okay, we're just going to tackle it one by one. And the last one, I really, at a certain moment, I'm like, you know what? This is my trust. This is my boundary. Right now, I'm going to say no for a change, because I could have also already started this whole legal battle in the beginning. I didn't do that because I thought, and I was right, I'm just going to make, this, it's not going to help. It's going to bring so much stagnancy in my life that I don't need. Whatever. But for a small amount of money, I actually did say until here and not further. And it even went this far that I went to that chief of whatever operation was running the show, and I was like, I'm not gonna pay, dude. I'm done. Like, this is my boundary. And the interesting thing is, it stopped. And it was this dance of, sometimes you have to, roll with the punches, and sometimes you just really have to stand your ground. But the main thing that I learned from this investment is to let go of that control and to surrender to something bigger, and to not fear money. Because if you want to make money, you cannot fear it. Money is a love story. And I knew that for a long time, but it really wanted me to go deeper into surrendering, to really understand it and feel it. And you can only understand it and feel that when you have to go through that journey. It's easy to talk about if you don't really feel it. But when everything is on stake, you feel it. And so the other day, and that's why I'm telling this story, there was, in the owner chat, there was this emergency that was going on the level where my apartment is at. And I didn't catch that message until later that evening, because I wasn't on my phone. And by the time I saw it, it was already resolved, and it wasn't even my apartment, it was someone else. There was like this leak, this boiler that exploded apparently. And there was water everywhere, and they were trying to figure out where it came from, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, this chaos, it's not catching me. And by the time I see it, it's already resolved. It had nothing to do with my apartment. So I'm like, and I feel it. I feel this je ne sais quoi energy. Like, whatever. Nothing can take me anymore. Nothing can destruct me. Nothing can destroy me. There is no fear. Like, money doesn't have that grip on me anymore. This whole, investment doesn't have that grip anymore. And then looking back to how I was afraid first time, like I was just in my 30s when I first rented out the house, and oh, this is so scary. What if they complain? What if they don't like it? That. And then how easy now it is for me to just host my beautiful home back in the Netherlands to expat families. And now, having these investments also now in a different country, every time I was opening up that vessel to receive more and to make more risks and to learn more of life so that more can come in. Because that's how I see it now. I see it now because I had to go through all of that to be able to see the bigger picture, to be able to see it's not about this object, it's not about the house, it's not about the money. It's about my ability to receive. It's about my ability to deal with discomfort and chaos and not be the recipient of that, And I even experienced that back in the days with relationships. And what I felt was I went through those turmoils, and I really feel that I'm doing it so well now that I have the most healthiest, beautiful relationships in my life. And the only place I still had to do that was the financial part. And now I'm like, nothing can stop me. And because I've built that vessel now, because I I see what's happening, and I know that the bigger dreams you have, the bigger lessons are in store. Sometimes I used to joke like, oh, I wish I was just a simple person that could just be happy living a simple, normal life somewhere in a normal city where I could just have a normal administrative job. I clock in my job and I do my thing and I just go home. I used to say that and joke about that, but I always had this huge passion for more and for, adventure and getting out of my comfort zone. And now I'm like, I'm so happy that I am who I am. And I'm so happy that I'm this forever student. And I'm so happy that I constantly rip open that comfort and that I change this narrative and I constantly alchemize it and transform it to the point now where I'm like, I'm ready to invest in it. I'm ready to just, break the ceiling open again. And the joy out of it. I will always invest. I will always either in me, myself, people, things, etc. Because every lesson brings me so much more than because of the lessons that I got. The things that we receive is not always monetarily. The things that we receive is not always an amazing thriving relationship. The things we get to receive is so much more than just that. It is a lifetime of expansion and experiences that makes you appreciate the simple things in life, but also go for the big things at the same time. And I was thrilled this weekend when I really felt like, oh my God, it really shifted this time. It really did. And I can breathe. I'm like, wow. Because you know what this means? Money is coming in. Okay, it sounds crazy, but it is. I just know it is. Because I built the container to hold more, you know? And this is what amazing businessmen do. And they probably don't even are aware of it, that this is what they do. But they're not afraid for the discomfort. They're not afraid for the lessons. They're not afraid for the chaos. Just they face it head on. And what I'm just really good at is to alchemize it inside. So it goes faster, so it's smoother. So yeah, so you still function and our joy is in life without it just pressing onto you. And yeah, I hope that it inspires you to look at your challenges, either financially, private, or both, and see the golden nuggets there. Because life is not here to punish us. Life is always here to expand us. And once you see that new perspective shift, and once you get to receive, how we ourselves are constantly the ones that are controlling the outcome, but also attracting the circumstances, and then controlling the outcome, we can step out of it. It's really about taking that inner leadership and be like, okay, what is this showing about me? What is this teaching me? And it's always there to help you. How fucked up that may seem. That's what I believe, and that's why I feel like I'm thriving, because this is my belief system. Thank you so much for watching. I see you guys tomorrow.